And welcome to 7 Super Series. I'm Ben from the Bonehead podcast, and this is the Game 6 preview. Seven Super Series is our escalation league for the best way to play Blood Bowl Sevens. Sevens is a fast play variant with a smaller pitch, smaller teams, shorter halves, but bigger gameplay. We've got 5 teams facing off against each other across 10 weeks, then we'll take the top 4 teams and through a series of knockout playoff games, determine the 7 Super Series 3 champion. This is an escalation league, so no permanent injuries, and before each game a team plays, they will receive a single skill depending on their team tier. Every week we'll have a preview show for the match coming up at the weekend where we detail the rosters, the standings, the coaches, and of course the viewer championship. So the game we've got coming up this weekend is between the Saber Tusks and the Undercity Warpfires. This is our Ogre team, painted by Ian Warhammer Hannam, taking on our Underworld team, painted by Ian Warhammer Hannam, and the player who will be running the Ogres against me is going to be Milton. Milton is back on the show. You've seen him a couple of times already this season, and he's going to be taking on me, running some mutated Ratkin. Anyway, let's have a look at the rosters. First up, we've got the Ogre team. Now, this is Game 6, which is in Round 3, so the Tier 3 team here has got a secondary skill, a primary skill, and now another secondary skill. And what do you do when you get a secondary skill? To give to a big guy, you go block, block, block. So the Run Punter has got leader, the Ogre Blocker has got block, the Ogre Blocker has got block. We've got 8 Noblar heroes, so 11 players on this roster, and a desperate measure as well. So this roster comes in at 595k, including that desperate measure. Now this is an exhibition format, so all the players are going to come back, and the skills are on top of that standard value. 3 ogres here, 3 pieces of strength 5 might with mighty blow, and backed up by an absolute army of Noblars. Throw teammate isn't quite as effective as it used to be now that if you hit any guy with any other guy it becomes a turnover, so the throwing loads of people as munitions is probably not going to be quite as prevalent as it used to be. What the team does have are 3 Bonehead but big hitters here, and they're playing against Underworld. Now Underworld have got the Roger, who does, spoiler alert, also have block, so this is going to be, there's going to be potential here of some kaiju combat. The difficulty is that there's 1 big guy on the Underworld team and 3 big guys on the Saber Tusk team. Underworld have kind of got them pegged when it comes to agility, but for just strength and gumming up the ground with those Noblars and potentially, who knows, a wizard with a desperate measure, it could be pretty potent. I am absolutely over the moon about. It's Skaven with some goblins and a big old juicy rat ogre. So round 3 for the Undercity Warpfires. They had the bye week, I think, in their last round, so they've gone straight into having 3 skills now, 2 primaries and a secondary. Rat ogre gets the secondary there and has got block. So 1 big guy with block on this roster versus the 2 big guys with block on the ogre team. The Rat Ogre here is not going to be benefiting from the strength advantage, and where it's got Frenzy, it's also going to be a little bit vulnerable to just going wrong when it blitzes a Noblar. Noblars with that dodge and sidestep can lead a Frenzy piece around in a merry little circle, and there's a good chance the Rat Ogre could end up being Frenzy trapped into a bit of a scrum with 3 Ogres. So we're going to have to be really careful to only kind of blitz when there's supports there for the Roger. Now the good thing about this roster is we've also got a Skaven Blitzer, a Skaven Thrower, and a Gutter Runner there, so all the best bits of the Skaven team, and 3 Goblins. So with inbuilt dodge on 4 of my pieces, 3 of them with Edge 3+, 1 of them with Edge 2+, we should be able to maneuver around to do 2 things. One is to support that Rat Ogre. If we can get supports from that Rat Ogre, who's going to be throwing frenzy blocks on an Ogre with a bit of Mighty Blow as well, this is the best chance. If the Rat Ogre goes down, we've still got 6 good players. Well, and 3 good players and 3 goblins. if an ogre goes down, it's kind of a third of their team, basically. So the rat ogre versus the ogre here, if we can use him to get a bit of removal, it's going to be really, really, really cool. Now, the Skaven Thrower has got leader to give us a integral reroll, basically, and the gutter runner has got block. So we've now got a movement 9, edge 2+ blodge piece, which I am very excited about. Obviously, assistant coach in here as well, a desperate measure. So a desperate measure for each team here could be really interesting. Come on, double wizards. That's what we're shooting for here. So this is the classic dash versus bash. However, if I can find a way to use my rat ogre as a cruise missile to take out an ogre, victory is certain. Okay, so both of these teams are starting to gear up now where we've got the skills on the go. So this is going to be the last game in round 3, which means from this point there, all the teams are only going to have basically up to 2 games left. So we'll bust out the leaderboard next week as we go into the final 4 regular season games. Now, we've got Milton. Milton has proven across the series to be a very consistent coach. But come on, Underworld. Underworld Tier 1 Masters of Blood Bowl at the moment versus Tier 3 Ogres. Surely it'll be a whitewash? However, this is 7s. Yeah, they've got a leader reroll, but that's it. 1 reroll and you're done. Only 7 players on the Underworld team means that any removal that the Ogres get is just going to potentially snowball. So the Ogre coach here probably going to be looking to just stand, wait, and strike. Take block after block that's given away by the Underworld coach. And the Underworld coach is going to be me, and I've been accused of playing every team like Skaven. And I think that is a fair accusation. No overruling here. So I think you can kind of guarantee that the Ogres are going to get a few free shots at the players on this team. And if they hit home, if they ransack this team, if the gutter goes down and we lose, you know, a couple of other players here, it's going to snowball really quickly. Whereas anybody we kill on the Ogre team is just going to be replaced by a Noblar. There's 11 players on there. I'd need to kill 5 dudes for them to be down to 6 players, which I can't see happening, even with the mighty piece that is the Rat Ogre. So I like this matchup for both teams. These guys could get some serious casualties on the go, and these guys could get some serious touchdowns on the go. So I love these teams. I really, really, really do enjoy Underworld. However, it's 7s. There's 1 reroll per half at best. There's no bench, and the desperate measures are going to be a bit of a wild card in this matchup. I love it. Cannot wait to see the game play out because we recorded it a while ago and I can't quite remember what happened. Now, on this, I want to kind of talk about a couple of things. First of all, viewer championship. Get your guesses in for the game. I forgot to adjust the calculation formula last time, I think, so it has now been fixed. So when we go through the viewer championship in a minute, you'll see it updated, as opposed to the last 2 weeks where I was on holiday. I didn't update it basically and I missed a thing off, so I do apologize for that. And the second, I just want to stress that we are guys who are having a fun time playing Blood Bowl. It's narrative, it's fun, we love the challenge and the gameplay. Sometimes we're going to make mistakes and I do apologize. We do our best. Sometimes we get carried away, sometimes we forget what's going on, sometimes you play a load of league games and then switch over and forget that ghouls aren't movement 11, Ben. That was embarrassing. So I just want to say sorry for rules mistakes. They do happen. I will do a better job of trying not to let them happen when we record. I'll do a better job of trying to edit them out so that people don't see them as well. But bear in mind that everybody makes mistakes when they play games. And I think we saw that in the tournament where we had the top table streamed at our last event, and the players who were winning the tournament were still getting a couple of things wrong here and there. It's just a part of the game. I've likened it to referees in real sports making mistakes, calling things that weren't there, not calling things that were there. And actually, it's a part of the meta. You can make a mistake. It's down to both coaches to try and get it right. But with the way we kind of film and stuff, sometimes we do miss things. And I want to apologize. I'm saying that we're going to double down our efforts on the editing and trying to get the rules right. But hopefully you're still enjoying the show anyway. But we talked about viewer championship. Let's have a look at the updated and corrected leaderboard. Okay, so the leaderboard, we've got Alexander Padberg at 14 points, Nui and Olabayo in second place, third place 11 points, Adam Pike, Austin Faulkner, Baron 1, Chris Stevenson twice apparently, Silith B, Sonic E, Stevie126 all there in third. There's a ton of you up there with the points. Now remember, every single week you can score up to 5 points. 3 points for guessing the outcome correctly, and 1 point for each team whose score you get bang on as well. So those things they're not intertwined. You can get one right without the others. It's basically 3 individual things that you can get right that total up to a maximum of 5 points. Now, this is game 6 of 10 regular season and 3 finals. So there are plenty of points left to win. And yeah, get yourself on the leaderboard. And at the end of the video, we'll have the full Star Wars scroll of what I believe to be the most up-to-date and correct scores. Okay, we've got a great game coming up this weekend. It's Milton, who plays a good game, with Ogres, who also play a good game of Sevens, versus me with Underworld. This could be boom or bust, and I cannot wait to I'm going to watch the game again, really, because I don't remember what happened, because we filmed it a little while ago. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Do not forget to get your scores in below, and we'll be back again soon with more Bubble content. Happy blocking. Thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube Members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.